Omgeni, proceed.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to support this statement that was raised by Senator Mida. But, Mr. Speaker, we should also not allow Senator Cheragei to mislead the House. Mr. Speaker, we all know that the money that was voted by this House to go to the counties is 385 billion as a shareable revenue, Mr. Speaker. The issue of conditional grant
Mr. Speaker, I thank you. Mr. Speaker, this is one of those petitions that makes me wonder what it is that we do in this country. You take teachers, you say, let us educate them, let us put them through a training, you increase their salaries. 27 years after, they are still crying that those increment they are yet to receive. What exactly are we doing, Mr. Speaker? Mr. Speaker, this is an issue which, when you read the petition, you wonder whether we represent the people we say we represent. My views are a little bit unorthodox when it comes to issues to do with personal welfare. Why is it that we ourselves here as leaders, whenever we are promised...
There will be trickle effect on the common mwananchi, the so-called hustler. It is sad, Mr. Speaker, that we are abandoning hustlers hardly before our first anniversary in office as UDA administration. And, Mr. Speaker, issues of taxation is not something to joke with. Poor taxation measures has brought down governments. Poor taxation measures has brought down governments. Mr. Speaker, we must be conscious about the poor, the people who vote for us. I don't mind, Mr. Speaker, increase of taxation to 35%. In fact, I wish the 3% property tax, the one you want to take away from teachers, can be lumped on MPs so that you pay 38%, so that we can think when we are passing laws touching on taxation. But, Mr. Speaker, to bring a law that is going to increase fuel on border, he's being insensitive, Mr. Speaker. And as people who have been elected to speak on
What is your point of order, Senator Cherargei?
Mr. Speaker, is it in order for Commissioner, my criminal lawyer defender, during my heydays in trenches fighting for democracy, is it in order, Mr. Speaker, to mislead the House on the House levy fund, yet the Housing Act was passed, Mr. Speaker? And on only 3%, it will be 2,500 matched by the employer, Mr. Speaker, and it is capped. Is it in order to listen more, Mr. Speaker, to WhatsApp gossip as opposed to getting, Mr. Speaker, a substantive issue as the learned senior counsel, Mr. Speaker? And he's the only one in this session, Mr. Speaker. Is it in order to mislead, Mr. Speaker?
Mr. Speaker, I wish Senator Cheragei can be a good student who listens. And you should be a debater who also reads. You should read the 156 pages of the finance bill. And you will see that there is a proposal therein to tax Kenyans 3% in the name of housing tax. It is there. So it's not a matter of gossip, tax, Mr. Speaker. And I want to tell Senator Cheragei,
what's your point of order, Cherargei?
You know, you can't raise
Understanding order number 105, Mr. Speaker, on the statement of fact. Is it in order for the only learned senior counsel on the House, which will depend on this, to mislead all of us by saying 3% housing levy fund is a tax? Yet it is not, it is a saving, Mr. Speaker, that is paid, Madam Speaker, sorry, that is paid after 7 years, and he should be able, he has advised me to read finance bill, Mr. Speaker. I have read finance bill. In fact, I should be the one teaching him, because, Madam Speaker, sorry, because the 3% we are talking about housing levy fund, Madam Speaker, is a saving. It is not a tax. Is it in order to mislead the House as per standing order number 105?
Senior Counsel, do you want to respond?
Yes,
to that?
you know, Madam Speaker, lawyers are normally very poor with the figures. Whether you call it a levy, whether you call it a taxation, the thing is that you are raiding Kenyans' income and taking away 3%. Whether you call it housing levy, whatever you call it, it is still a taxation measure, Mr. Speaker. And I was in Nandi, Mr. Speaker. I want to tell Senator Cheragei to put his ear on the ground.
Madam
Listen
Speaker,
to the
Madam
teachers
Speaker,
in Nandi.
Senior Counsel.
Madam Speaker, sorry. Madam Speaker, I want Senator Cheragei to put his ear on the ground and listen to the people of Nandi. Listen to the teachers of Nandi. Listen to the border in Nandi. Listen to the hustler in Nandi. They will tell you they don't support these taxation measures, Mr. Speaker. Madam Speaker.
Order, Senator Cherargei. He shall be heard in silence.
Madam Speaker, these